Part 13. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 121. Xiaoshuang. Su Suandeo, now that you have recovered, is it time to talk about the remaining soul in your body? That wisp of ice remnant soul emerged. Yin Xiaoshuang recalled. It all started when I was 5 years old. At that time, I accidentally broke an ancient lamp at home. I fell seriously ill and was very cold and weak, but nothing could be detected. It wasn't until I was 10 years old, when I embarked on the path of becoming a professional, that I learned about the existence of remnant souls. She told me about her life experience. She was the illegitimate daughter of the saint son of the Dark Elf clan and the saint daughter of the Ice Elf clan in Loran Star. After her identity was exposed, she was jointly hunted down by the kings of the two major clans, and eventually died in the World Passage. The ancient lamp carrying her remnant soul was picked up by my great-grandfather and kept at home until I broke it. To be more precise, it was her remnant soul that wanted to break free and find a parasite, which led me as a young person to smash the ancient lamp. Speaking of which, Ice remnant soul argued, although I am parasitic in your body, I haven't harmed you, and I even saved you, right? Su Xian asked, then why did you swallow Xiaoshuang's vitality when she was weak? Bing remnant soul said, I did not devour her vitality. The cold air was not emitted by me on my own initiative, but because she borrowed my power and couldn't bear the backlash. No wonder I am. If I really wanted to devour her, she would have been a corpse long ago. Zhang Mu's eyes widened angrily. Xiaoshuang is unconscious, but I am not. Don't forget that Xiaoshuang and I are of the same mind now. I clearly felt your consciousness at that time. Bing Kenhuan snorted coldly. Xiaoshuang, tell me, if you think I am wrong, then voluntarily admit defeat. Yin Xiaoshuang frowned slightly. Her grandfather and father both died at the hands of dark elves. Therefore, she doesn't like the ice remnant soul, and apart from this time, she has never used the power of the ice remnant soul. She said, you saved me once, and this time you helped me win the game, but I also used my body to support you for many years without talking about past grudges. From today on, you leave my body and there will be no more connection between us. To Yin Xiaoshuang, the ice remnant soul was more like a parasite. She didn't like the feeling of being a parasite. The last time the ice remnant soul saved her, it was only because the ice remnant soul at that time did not have the ability to survive independently without her, otherwise he would not have saved her at all. But no matter what, the other party did save her. This time it was equal to last time, and she no longer owed anything. Okay, I'm leaving, let's clear things up. Ice remnant soul was once a king, so naturally she was not willing to live in Yin Xiaoshuang's body forever, so she took advantage of this opportunity to leave. Otherwise, in the end, there will be death between her and Yin Xiaoshuang. What's more, with Su Xian here, Bing remnant soul was very frightened and didn't want to stay any longer. Etc. Just as she was about to leave, Su Xian's voice came, you and Xiaoshuang are done with each other, what about me? Bing Kenhuan was startled, there seems to be no grudge between you and me, right? Su Xian narrowed his eyes and said, isn't that how grudges come about? He grabbed Bing remnant soul. From now on, we will have a grudge. I'll give you two choices. Bing Kenhuan was confused, why didn't this person play his cards according to the routine? Do you still have the demeanor of a strong man? Tolerate. The soul is under the eaves and has to bow its head. What choice? Su Xian stretched out his finger, first, I will reshape your body. From now on, you can work for me and be my guard. It won't take long, just sell yourself for 50 years. Giving you this opportunity is the merit of your elven ancestors. Second, you bullied my apprentice just now, now I'll slap you to death, and let's clear it up. Su Xian was not polite at all. Naturally, he would not listen to everything Bing Kenhoon said just now. He couldn't guarantee anything else, but if Bing Kenhoon didn't interfere with Yin Xiaoshuang's weak heart, he didn't believe it at all. I choose one. The remaining ice soul wants to cry but has no tears. In front of Su Xian, he had no choice. After you reshape your body, what strength can you regain? Su Xian asked. Ice remnant soul fell into deep thought. She was afraid that she would underestimate her and Su Xian thought she was worthless, so he slapped her to death. If Su Xian doesn't believe her if she talks too high, it won't be a good thing for her. As long as my physical strength is high enough, my strength can reach a level close to becoming a king, Bing remnant soul replied. So strong. Su Xian expressed surprise, pinched the ice remnant soul with his backhand, and punched a trace of spiritual imprint into its remnant soul. Since it's so strong, I'd better be careful. Ice remnant soul. By the way, what's your name? Su Xian asked again, and without waiting for Bing Kenhoon to answer, he said directly, don't use your previous name. From now on, when you follow me, you will be called De Bing. Bing remnant soul wanted to curse. What kind of name is this? Do you think of me as a dog? However, Su Xian didn't give Bing remnant a chance to refute at all. If the elves hadn't given Blue Star a lot of help during that turbulent era, he would have destroyed this remnant soul long ago. De Bing, follow me. Su Xian turned around and left. Master, where am I? Zhang Mu asked. You. Su Xian glanced at Zhang Mu, then glanced at Yin Xiaoshuang, who had blushing cheeks next to him. You don't know anything? You have to understand some things by yourself. You can't have a teacher teach you everything, right? What else Zhang Mu was thinking was immediately covered by Yin Xiaoshuang's mouth. Master, walk slowly. Yin Xiaoshuang smiled and sent Su Xian away, then dragged Zhang Mu towards home. On the other side, Su Xian returned to the palace. As soon as he entered the palace, Bing Kenhoon felt the rich energy of heaven and earth. This. A familiar smell. It reminded her of the holy land of the elves, the eternal forest. It felt like returning home. Here, her residual soul was nurtured and slowly recovered. The look she gave Su Xian changed completely. The young human in front of him was probably countless times more powerful than he thought, otherwise it would be impossible to create an environment comparable to the holy land of the elves in this palace. Originally, she was a little reluctant to come with Su Xian, feeling wronged. But now, even if she was driven away, she would stay here shamelessly. De Bing, come here. Hey. Bing Kenhoon had long forgotten what moral integrity was. After experiencing the pain of soul shattering and reorganization, she, who had saved a life from the hands of the god of death, now just wanted to live well. Being a dog. What's wrong with that? The name De Bing is also quite good. How do you feel about the environment here? Su Xian asked. Very satisfied. De Bing smiled and said, I used to be an elf, and I am very good at taking care of flowers and plants. I feel bad if I eat and live for free. From now on, I will take care of the flowers and trees in this palace for you. Su Xian nodded, your attitude is not bad. I will add more food to your body later. Bing Kenhoon didn't care about his integrity and face, so Su Xian didn't want to make things difficult for him. As the old saying goes, don't hit a smiling person. Maybe after De Bing's strength is restored, he can really help him do something. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 122. After placing the big ice, Su Xian returned to the room. Master, a voice sounded from the bottom of my heart. The stupid penguin who could only sleep woke up at some point. Are you awake? Su Xian was surprised. It's not that I woke up, dumb penguin said, it's that I have entered the work cycle. What's the meaning? Su Xian was confused when he heard this. Master, I remembered what my ability was when I was dreaming, the stupid penguin said. Oh? What is it? Su Xian suddenly became interested. After all, it is a spiritual pet of the same quality as World Tree, and the ability of the silly penguin should not be weak. In the words of your world, my master, my ability is to copy and reorganize things that existed in the past or present. It raised its short hand and pointed to the teacup in front of it. For example, the wind boots you are wearing, I can perfectly reproduce them, and I can also take their essence, remove their dross, and reorganize them to make them stronger. Mark it as belonging to the penguin. Ah, no, it belongs to you, the owner. Try, Su Xian smiled. I don't have any power of my own. The silly penguin said, you can understand me as a medium, and you can control me to obtain the ability to reproduce and reorganize, but I cannot complete the transformation independently. Theoretically, as long as you as the master are strong enough, you can even clone and reorganize the entire blue star. Su Xian was shocked. Still underestimate the stupid penguin. I didn't expect the stupid penguin to be so capable. I understand. Su Suanmo rubbed his hands. In this case, let's do an experiment first. It just so happened that De Bing needed a physical body, so he gave De Bing a physical body first. Following the guidance of the stupid penguin, Su Xian put his hands on the penguin's head, connecting the main pet's consciousness. In an instant, Su Xian seemed to be taken to another world. Here he is like the god of creation, and the silly penguin is his editor. He can edit anything he wants. Of course, everything in this world also existed in Su Xian's consciousness. In other words, he can only reproduce and reorganize things that already exist, but cannot truly create on his own. De Bing's body. Regarding the reorganization of the physical body, Su Xian chose one that he was satisfied with among the ideologies. It was a female character named Tifa that I played in a game called Final Fantasy in my previous life. She was good-looking, popular, and fit De Bing's temperament very well. According to this ideology, Su Xian began to reproduce and reorganize. At that moment, the energy of the entire palace surged towards Su Xian's room. Just by creating a head, Su Xian felt as if his whole body had been drained. Feelings of weakness, fatigue, and soreness swept through his body. The essence of reorganization is to compress countless energy factors into forms in consciousness. This process consumes so much energy that even Su Xian cannot bear it. Master, you can break existing things into material particles and scatter them around you. This will reduce your energy consumption, but will increase your mental consumption, Dumb Penguin explained. Su Xian thought. 500 confusion stones were taken out from the system space. This is what he got from the last time he led his disciples through the Tower of Delusion, totaling 3,000 yuan. Su Xian checked the information about Confusion Stone. The Delusion Stone is an item unique to the Tower of Delusion. Its current main uses are forging and upgrading the quality of equipment. It is an essential material for creating legendary and mythical equipment. Normally clearing the Tower of Delusion once only rewards 30 Delusion Stones. Counting the cost of obtaining the invitation letter, Delusion Stones are enough to be regarded as precious items. Su Xian took out 500 Confusion Stones at one time, which was a lot. According to Su Xian's ideology, a flesh body gradually condensed. After the physical body was completely formed and the main pet's consciousness separated, the stupid penguin fell directly to the ground and began to sleep soundly again. Su Xian was also sweating profusely from exhaustion, his limbs were weak, and he was dizzy. Re-engraving and reorganizing it are already so difficult. If it were created out of thin air, it would probably drain him dry. Su Xian dragged his newly kneaded body outside. At this time, big ice was floating among the flowers and trees, and I was in a very happy mood. Seeing Su Xian coming out, she immediately flew over, licked her smile and said, "Brother Su, do you have any orders?" Without saying a word, Su Xian threw the condensed body in front of De Bing. I shaped this body for you. Are you satisfied with it? Seeing that body, De Bing's eyes lit up. A well-proportioned figure, full curves, and a beautiful face are very much in line with her aesthetics. She was once the daughter of the holy son of the Dark Elf tribe and the saint of the Ice Elf tribe. Not to mention extremely beautiful, she was also one of the most beautiful mixed-race beauties among the elf tribe at that time. Only such a body is worthy of oneself. What, are you not satisfied? Su Xian asked. Satisfied? De Bing nodded immediately. How can you be dissatisfied with your hard work? Look at these lines and this figure, you must have put in the effort. With the physical body, De Bing's ambitions unfolded. One day, she must fight back to Lowland and kill all the elves who once made her soul broken and homeless because of her inner prejudice. For all this, she can bear anything. Well, then you get used to it. Su Xian didn't care what De Bing thought. In fact, he can create a better looking and more powerful body, and can even restore De Bing's former physical form. But that's not necessary. The Shuiyu Palace already has a great beauty. This is almost the same. He worked so hard to create this body, hoping that De Bing would not let him down. Now that he has been targeted by the rebels, the next assassination by the rebels may come at any time, and he must prepare as many means as possible. Especially the king, who always makes him feel apprehensive. The next day, the exchange competition continued. Su Xian came to the competition early. In today's game, Zhang Mu, the second seed of Dingai Academy, faced off against Yin Kongyue, the second seed of Sakura Country. Zhang Mu is now very angry with the people of Sakura Country. Before he even went on the court, Su Xian felt the hostility of Zhang Mu. On the contrary, Yin Xiaoshuang, who almost died yesterday, smiled and held Zhang Mu's arm openly, admonishing him, Mewtwo, don't be fooled by that woman from Sakura Country. Zhang Mu glanced at Yin Xiaoshuang and said seriously, don't worry, she is uglier than you, she can't deceive my eyes, let alone confuse my heart. My fists never show mercy to women. Yin Xiaoshuang rolled her eyes. Can Deadwood talk? Su Xian, as a teacher, was very relieved. Zhang Mu could be fooled by anything, but he would never fall for a woman. When it comes to beating women, his eldest disciple is still good at it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 123. The second round of group stage of the Global Higher Education Exchange Competition, Game 7. Zhang Mu, the second seed from Ryagotingai Academy, will face Yue Sakurakura, the second seed from Sakura Kingdom Jingdong Academy. The competition begins. Players from both sides enter. Zhang Mu's eyes were fierce, like a wild beast, and he stepped into the duel with heavy steps. Opposite him, Sakura Sarayui was smiling. Are you Su Suanjun's disciple? Yin Kongyue asked. Yes. Zhang Mudao, what? Do you also have a grudge against my master? If you want to scold my master, I advise you to shut up, otherwise Miyazawa will be your fate. Of course Su Suanjun and I have no hatred. Yin Kongyue smiled charmingly and said, it's not too late for me to love him. It was Su Suanjun who made me feel the happiness of being a woman. I'm thinking, you are his disciple, should I give in to you? Zhang Mu frowned and said, you and my master? Do that. Yin Kongyue's smile made her branches tremble. What, is it weird for a man to have sex with a woman? You ugly monster, does my master like you? The next second, Zhang Mu yelled, just like you, my wife's dog is 10,000 times prettier than you. I think your fantasy is too much, yuck. As he spoke, Zhang Mu really vomited. Sakura Koryui. Although she is not a stunning beauty, she is not bad looking, right? Is it that disgusting? Humph, today I will teach you a lesson for Mr. Su Xian. Yin Kongyue snorted coldly, and a whirlpool flashed in her eyes. Dare to despise her beauty? Today she wants Zhang Mui to become her subordinate. Zhang Mu looked at Yin Kongyue, a whirlpool flashed in his eyes, and he rushed towards Yin Kongyue like a hungry wolf. Sit down. Sakura Koryui looked at him contemptuously and gave the order. Bang. As soon as she finished speaking, a fist as big as a casserole hit her face directly. One punch. Half of Yin Kongyue's face was swollen into a pig's head. She rolled several times on the ground before she managed to stabilize herself and got up with difficulty. She looked at Zhang Mu in disbelief. Why? There are clearly hallucination marks in Zhang Mu's eyes, why can't he be controlled by her? You ugly monster, ugh. Sakura Koryui was still in shock. Zhang Mu rushed up again, sat on her body, punched her left and right, and continued to greet her unceremoniously. He kept shouting ugly, ugly, ugly. The female audience members on the stage looked at Zhang Mu with different eyes. In terms of appearance and temperament, Sakura Koryui is considered to be close to the top level, but in Zhang Mu's eyes, she is ugly. It seems that the title of a maniac who slaps women in the face is not for nothing. Master, I shouldn't be ugly, right? Yin Xiaoshuang was so unconfident that she asked Su Xian beside her. It's about improving genes for future generations of the Zhang family. Su Xian smiled. Is that because the aesthetics of wood are too unique? Yin Xiaoshuang couldn't understand. Su Xian shook his head, no. Yin Xiaoshuang was confused, what is that? Su Xian raised a smile and said, it's because Zhang Mu was under an illusion. Then he should think Yui Sakura is pretty, right? Why would he call her ugly? Yin Xiaoshuang was even more confused. Su Xian looked at her, a whirlpool flashing in his eyes, do you understand? You are amazing. Yin Xiaoshuang suddenly realized. It turns out that Zhang Mu fell into the master's illusion. The master is so powerful that he can even master the pupil technique of Sakura Kingdom, and he has practiced it to perfection. What else can the master not know? At this time, Yui Sakurakura, whose illusion had lost its effect, was violently beaten by Zhang Mu, and her face was almost broken. Sakura Yui's heart burned with anger. She looked at the whirlpool marks in Zhang Mu's eyes and seemed to understand something. Ghost eyes, open. 2 lines of bloody tears flowed from Yin Kongyue's eyes. Her vitality was rapidly fading. But her thoughts became extremely clear, and the happy time with Su Xian shattered in her mind. It was only then that she realized she had been deceived. From the beginning, she fell under Su Xian's illusion and was treated like a doll. Su Xian didn't touch her at all, he just wanted to get some secrets from her. No. The moment the illusion was lifted, Yui Sakura was almost crazy. She couldn't accept such a thing. As the inheritor of illusions from the Yin Kong family, she was actually controlled by a man from the Dragon Kingdom using illusions for so long without knowing it. This is a shame for the Sakurakura family and a shame for Sakura country. Su Xian, I won't let you go. Yin Kongyue was full of resentment, and more blood and tears flowed from her eyes. Illusion of blood, not. She couldn't take revenge on Su Xian, so she would plunge Su Xian's disciples into endless mental pain. A trace of confusion flashed in Zhang Mu's eyes. His consciousness was dragged into another world. He returned to the game the day before. He sat on the viewing platform and witnessed Yin Xiaoshuang being torn to pieces by Abe Sime of Sakura country. Immediately, the master took action and was slapped into blood foam by the king of Sakura Kingdom. Junior sister Xyli was also killed. The master's wife went crazy and was suppressed by foreign kings. All these people close to him died in front of his eyes. Get free! An ethereal voice echoed in Zhang Mu's ears. Kill yourself and there will be no pain left. Your soul can also follow Master. Zhongmu let go of Yingkongyue and sat on the ground. Yingkongyue got up from the ground and slowly approached Zhongmu. Her eyes were completely stained with blood, and tears of blood flowed down her cheeks and dripped on the ground. On the ground, the blood formed a strange formation, wrapping Zhongmu in it. At this moment, she had the intention to kill. She couldn't accept the fact that Su Xian used illusions to play tricks on her. She wanted revenge, starting with Su Xian's disciples. She gradually moved towards Zhongmu. In the competition, once one party is in danger of life, the king of the referee seat will immediately take action. So she must kill with one blow and not give the referee seat a chance to stop. In the surprised eyes of the audience, Yingkongyue hugged Zhongmu, and her power was divided into thousands of threads and entered Zhongmu's body. What is she doing? On the referee seat, Shui Yuwang frowned. Beside him, the crowned king of Sakura country, Yamamoto Masakazu, sneered, "What? You don't want to interfere with the game, do you? Can't the self-proclaimed fair dragon country afford to lose? She has a strong murderous aura," Shuiya King said coldly. Yamamoto Masakazu said disdainfully, "It's normal to fight with real fire in the arena. There have been accidents in previous years. The game can't be interrupted. How can we show the excitement of the game until the last moment? Go to the battlefield between the two worlds, the monsters will not show mercy." He had just finished speaking. The situation on the field suddenly changed. The monstrous demonic energy on Zhongmu's body rushed out instantly. In an instant, Sakura Sarayui's head was smashed by a punch from Zhongmu in the demonic state. The demonic energy erupted too suddenly, and even the crowned king on the field didn't react. It only took a moment for Sakura Sarayui to go from advantage to being killed. Looking for death. On the stage, Su Xian saw the scene and sneered a few times. Outsiders didn't know that Zhongmu had a demon god body. Just now, Yui Sakura dispersed her power in Zhongmu's body, intending to detonate and kill Zhongmu at once, but she failed to kill him and instead triggered the demon body. In an instant, the referee's seat and the viewing platform became a mess. The first death of this exchange competition still occurred. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 124. Yui. The leader of the Sakura country's eyes were filled with tears and he ran straight to the stage. Bang. The next moment, he flew back at a faster speed and hit the edge of the viewing platform hard. Irrelevant personnel are not allowed to interfere with the order of the arena. King Wuan stood empty-handed and stood with his hands behind his back. He raised his brows slightly, glanced sideways at Yamamoto Shoiki, and said, "We are also surprised that such a change occurred in the game, but as you said, on the battlefield of the two worlds, monsters will not show mercy. The Dragon Nation will give you appropriate compensation. I, the Dragon Nation, will take the responsibility for this matter. There is no need to go after the juniors." Yamamoto Shoiki stood up angrily and pointed at Zhongmu, "This person is a spy of the rebel army." As soon as he finished speaking, a sword was placed in front of him. King Shuiyu said coldly, "King Sand Shadow, please watch your words. If you want to start a war, I don't mind fighting with you." Yamamoto Shoiki looked at the referees from other countries gloomily. "Everyone, do you still remember the demon seed?" Yamamoto Shoiki roared, "If you feel it carefully, what is the difference between Zhongmu's aura and the devil's seed? Maybe he has already been controlled by the rebels, but he doesn't know it yet. In this game, he can kill people from our Sakura country. The next generation will suffer the consequences in your country. Are you sure you want this kind of person to continue competing?" Several kings from other countries felt it carefully. Their expressions changed. Zhongmu's aura and the devil's seeds indeed come from the same source. My disciple does have the physique of a demon. While the kings were discussing, a voice came from below, and Su Xian led Zhang Mu to the crowd. He looked at Yamamoto Shoiki, but who says that a person with a devil's physique must be a rebel spy? Who are you? Yamamoto Masaichi looked at Su Xian contemptuously. You are just in the sun, what qualifications do you have to speak? Several other foreign kings also cast questioning looks. King Shuiyu took half a step forward, guarding Su Xian, and glanced at the other kings. His words represent my position. I also support it. King Wuan smiled. Su Xian grinned. Then let me start by saying that everyone who thinks that people with demonic bodies are rebel spies is nothing more than a psychological shadow cast by the demonic seeds of all generations. But this is not enough to prove that Zhang Mu is a rebel. I, Su Xian, can also guarantee here that if you can find any trace of collusion with the rebels from Zhang Mu, you don't need to take action. I will kill him with my own hands. If you can't produce evidence, just shut your mouths. This world is not one where you can spout bloodily just because you are old. Yamamoto Masaichi looked uncertain. He really couldn't produce any evidence. It seemed that King Shuiyu and King Wuan wanted to protect this descendant of the Dragon Kingdom, and there was nothing he could do. He said coldly, even if he is not a rebel, he must be punished. He cannot control this power, and continuing to compete will be too harmful to others. Can't control it, Zhang Mu's voice sounded. Then what do you think of my current state? This. Yamamoto Masaichi felt his face burning. Su Xian sneered, there is no right or wrong in power. With one move with one hand, he extracted the power of Yamata no Orokai from Yui Sakurakura's body. If it is wrong to have a demon body, then can I say that these seed players in your Sakura kingdom are all undercover agents of the abyss lurking in Blue Star? You. Yamamoto Masaichi was speechless. You have nothing to say. Su Xian looked at him, then apologize. Apologize? Yamamoto had a sinister look in his eyes. Even if he didn't pursue the matter, this junior from the Dragon Kingdom actually dared to ask him to apologize. It's okay not to apologize. King Shuiyu said, then don't ask for the compensation from your Sakura Kingdom. If you want to discuss etiquette or martial arts, our Dragon Kingdom is willing to accompany you. King Wuan didn't know that he had an extra sickle in his hand, and he looked at Yamamoto Shoiki with a smile. Choose. The conversation between several people was completely unconcealed. Hundreds of thousands of spectators were watching the whole scene. Longuo has never lost when it comes to communicating unanimously to the outside world. There were drops of sweat on Yamamoto Masaichi's forehead. Faced with the joint oppression of King Wuan and King Suijitsu, he lowered his head unwillingly and said reluctantly, I apologize to you for my previous negligent behavior. Please forgive me. King Shuiyu put away his sword. King Wuan also took back the sickle and said with a smile, I forgive you, our Dragon Kingdom is very kind, don't be too nervous, let's end this matter. Several kings from other countries didn't say anything. What happens to Zhang Mu will not affect their interests, and there is no need to conflict with the people of the Dragon Kingdom. The dual ground was quickly cleaned and restored. But the death of Yui Sakurazara has still left a psychological shadow on many players. Zhang Mu's name has also spread completely. From a face-slapping maniac to a headshot maniac. Except for Yin Xiaoshuang, the other students in the same grade were a little afraid when they saw Zhang Mu's face. The conversation between the feudal kings just now was not concealed at all. Although they were relieved that the two great kings of the Dragon Kingdom were angry at the Sand Shadow King of the Sakura Kingdom, the fact that Zhang Mu had the physique of a demon god also frightened them. They didn't think Zhang Mu could control such a terrifying power. But Zhang Mu had a good master who saved him. The so-called three people make a tiger. The power of words is sometimes scarier than the event itself. The competition is over. Su Xian took Zhang Mu out. Yin Xiaoshuang came up, took out a tissue, and carefully wiped the blood off Zhang Mu's body. Great, Mu, I just saw your demon body, so handsome. Zhang Mu said seriously, I was originally planning to give you a surprise when I competed with you, but I didn't expect to be forced out by this woman from Sakura country. Yin Xiaoshuang. Isn't this a shock? The scene just now even made her feel a little scared, but she didn't show it in front of Zhang Mu. Go back today, Su Xian said, I won't watch the next game. Zhang Mu, you need to calm down. Master, don't worry. Yin Xiaoshuang said, leave it to me to calm him down. The three walked out of the academy. Not far away, Su Xian felt someone following behind him. Looking back, it was Miyazawa from Sakura country. Su Xian remembered that this person was the most loyal licker of Sakura Sarayui. Even though the road leading to the depths of Ue Sakura's heart was already crowded with people, Miyazawa had never even seen the shade of the trees outside. Looking at Miyazawa's appearance, he had already licked out his inner demons, and his ferocious look seemed to want to exchange his life for another's. His pace became faster and faster, and he came to the three people. Stop. Miyazawa glared at Zhang Mu, killing someone means paying with your life, you can't leave. Su Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at this person. Who gave this guy the courage? He was beaten up by Zhang Mu in the last competition, so where did he get the confidence to stop the three of them? As soon as this thought came up, a strong sense of crisis suddenly hit him. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 125. Boom. The next moment, Miyazawa's body exploded. The tyrannical shockwave suddenly spread out, smashing the buildings around the street into pieces, and Zhang Mu and Yin Xiaoshuang were also swept far away. Pedestrians nearby with lower cultivation levels were even more mutilated by the explosion, and their lives and deaths were unknown. The sense of crisis has not dissipated. Su Xian looked at Zhang Mu's position. Above Zhang Mu, there was an unknown figure. Whoosh! At that moment, Su Xian's body flashed with silver light, his space jumped, and he appeared behind Zhang Mu, suddenly slapping upward with his palm. The fusion power of the red moon and the purple sun came together. At the same time, tyrannical murderous intent broke out. The pseudo-killer realm is opened. Field, the attacker's pupils shrank and he made an incredible voice, are you actually a hidden feudal lord? After seeing the realm around Su Xian, the attacker did not hesitate at all, and purple lines appeared on his neck. Are you going to blow yourself up again? Su Xian only felt his scalp numb. Su Xian has personally experienced how powerful the self-destruction of a powerful feudal lord is. He grabbed Zhang Mu and Yin Xiaoshuang with both hands and quickly threw them away. Before he could activate the space jump, violent fluctuations came from the surroundings, and he was swept in an instant. Click. In just a few seconds, Su Xian's protective armor shattered. Just when Su Xian thought he was going to suffer a little this time, there was a sudden touch on his waist, something surrounded him, and his head fell into a soft place. Then his body was taken up. Looking up, what comes into view is that beautiful face and the soft light that collides with her eyes. I am here. Lin Suiying held up the water moon sword in her hand. The explosive energy was cut open by a sword as if it were solid. In the distance, Zhang Mu and Yin Xiaoshuang looked at the two people flying out of the explosion. When they saw Su Xian being held in front of Shui Yuqing, their eyes could not help but light up with stars. Wow, Lord Shui Yuqing is too cool, isn't he? Yin Xiaoshuang transformed into a little fangirl. It's a pity that junior sister Xyli didn't see it. Zhang Mu sighed. Two figures fell in front of them. Ahem, Su Xian coughed twice. Master, I didn't see anything. Zhang Mu covered his eyes very uprightly. Yin Xiaoshuang covered her mouth and kept laughing. Su Xian and Lin Suiying regained their cold elder faces at the same time. Although Lin Suiying couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth, in order to maintain Su Xian's face as a master, she finally held back her laughter. She took the initiative to change the subject. What happened just now? Su Xian looked solemn. I'm not sure. The rebels should be people from the Sakura Kingdom. They seem to have come to kill Zhang Mu, but... Very weird, Lin Suiying said. Yeah, Su Xian nodded. I can understand that Gong Zequan exchanged his life for his life, but with the feudal princes here, I'm afraid it's not that simple. Lin Suiying asked, could it be for the demon body? Su Xian explained, not everyone can extract other people's physiques at will, even I have to put in a lot of effort. Even if they kill Zhang Mu, they can't get the demon body. What's more, this is Dingai King City, and they can't leave even if they get the demon god body. There's no need for that. Lin Suiying was also confused. I will send someone to investigate later. These people in Sakura country are becoming more and more unrestrained. The calmness in recent years seems to have made them forget the misery of the turbulent era. If Lowland Star hadn't launched a second war at any time, we would have wiped out these scoundrels long ago. At this time, people from the city defense army had arrived to clean up the mess. Fortunately, King Shuiyu suppressed the explosion space in time, and with the partial protection of the city defense formation, the scope of the explosion was not very wide, and there were not many casualties. I'll take Zhang Mu back to the house. Su Xian nodded. Lin Suiying nodded, I'll come find you after I finish handling the matters here. Return to Prince Shuiyu's mansion. Su Xian was always uneasy. What happened today is too strange. The purpose of the Sakura people must not be as simple as killing Zhang Mu. There must be other plans. Zhang Mu, do you feel anything strange in your body? No. Zhang Mu shook his head. Extend your hand and let me have a look. Su Xian held Zhang Mu's hand, sent a trace of power into his body, and carefully checked the veins in his body, but still did not notice anything abnormal. Master, is Mumu okay? Yin Xiaoshuang asked with concern. It's okay for now. Su Xian warned, you must remember that if you feel any discomfort, tell your master immediately. You must also be careful in the city these days and don't wander around. Yes, master. Evening. Lin Suiying returned to the palace and checked Zhang Mu's physical condition again, but also found nothing abnormal. If they can't find any clues, they can only give up and be more cautious in the future to prevent danger. Wait until all the disciples leave. Su Xian and Lin Suiying were sitting on the stone benches in the small courtyard. The moonlight shone on them, bright and gentle. Su Xian, the second round of competition is over, and the new governor of the royal city is coming. Lin Suiying looked at the moon in the sky and sighed, it's time for me, the acting governor, to leave. I will go to the battlefields of the two realms for a while, and Xiaoli will be left in your care. In the past, when I was fighting outside, I was always worried about Xiao Li. Now that I have you, I can feel much more at ease. Are you in a hurry to go? Su Xian asked. Well, Lin Suiying smiled slightly, I should have gone a long time ago, but the authorities have not sent anyone to take over my job. Su Xian looked into her eyes, are you just enlisting to fight or do you have a reason to go? Lin Suiying was stunned for a moment. The two looked at each other for a long time. Lin Suiying did not answer Su Xian's question, but stretched her hand behind her neck, untied the rope, and took out the jade pendant that had been nurtured. After I leave, it will protect you. Su Xian took the jade pendant that was still warm. He also took something out of the ring. It was a green ancient lamp. It was the life soul lamp that was returned for Zhang Mu and Yin Xiaoshuang to conclude the same heart and vein technique. Su Xian took out this thing, in addition to just in case, it was also because this thing could detect Lin Suiying's life status at any time. If one day Lin Suiying was in trouble, she could find her location through the life soul lamp. What is this? It's called the soul lamp. Su Xian explained, you leave a drop of blood and a wisp of thought in it, and I can use it to observe your life state. The battlefield between the two worlds is too dangerous, and there are many dead ends. This thing may play a role at the critical moment. OK, Lin Suying did not hesitate and activated the soul lamp immediately. The green soul lamp lit up. It has no wick. On the lampstand, there is a little person sleeping. Looking closely, she is a smaller version of Lin Suying. Su Xian poked it with his hand and smiled, small, so cute. Lin Suying blinked her beautiful eyes and joked, so do you think the big one is cute, or the small one is cute? Su Xian thought for a while and said, aren't you embarrassing me? If you ask me, big or small can't just be judged by the surface. Sometimes, no matter how big it is, it can be put into the heart, and the small one can also reflect the whole world. Lin Suying leaned closer to him, so you can talk so nicely. I thought Zhang was so straightforward because he learned from you. Now it seems that he is not good at learning. Su Xian smiled and said, in fact, I still have many strengths that you haven't discovered. For example, you will find it later. It's boring. Can't you tell me now? One night. Sleepless. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 126. Time flies. It was early February in the blink of an eye. The second round of the global exchange competition ended. The official announcement was released, and the candidates for each grade to advance to the quarter-finals were announced. According to the rules, only the top 2 teams in the 4 groups of the 4 major competition areas can advance to the third round. The list was announced. The list of freshmen to advance is as follows. Longdu competition area. Yechen, nationality, Dragon Country, occupation, warrior. Wenqiu, nationality, Dragon Country, occupation, Tianqi. Dingai competition area. Zhangmu, nationality, Dragon Country, occupation, Sanda. Yinxiaoshuang, nationality, Dragon Country, occupation, Berserker. Xianhuang competition area. Pushan, nationality, Bear Country, occupation, Druid. Gabriel, nationality, Eagle Country, occupation, Precision Archer. Baifeng competition area. Qiyun, nationality, Dragon Country, occupation, Battle Mage. Jinmin's, nationality, Kimchi Country, occupation, Psychic. Su Xian looked at the list. Among the 8 freshmen who advanced, 5 were from Longguo, and this championship trophy was basically won by Longguo. Zhang Mu and Yin Xiaoshuang both advanced, and he was quite pleased. The sophomores were the worst, with only 2 players from Longguo making it to the quarter-finals, but this misery was only relative to the freshmen, and they were still the strongest contenders for the championship. 4 juniors from Longguo advanced. Among them, Sun Xiaokong won the first place with a perfect record, while Long Aotian missed 2 games due to injuries and ranked 8th. Xianyu and Qingqing also made it to the quarter-finals with only 1 loss. In that game, she met the first place in the 3rd year of Longguo Academy. The opponent was famous for his speed and was in the Tianhe realm. He won the game neatly. He was looking at the information. Teacher. A voice came from the side, and Xiaoli came over panting, with a red face, looking very tired. Since eating the world fruit, Xiaoli, who was already gifted, has been breaking through the realm faster and faster. In less than a month, Xiaoli has entered the middle stage of gold from the initial stage. At the age of only 10, he has reached such a realm, which ranks among the best in the history of the entire Blue Star. The most important thing is that once he reaches the age of 15 or 16, Xiaoli's bones will be fully developed, and he will make rapid progress and become a sensation. Why are you back? Aren't you going to school today? Su Xian smiled and touched Xiaoli's head. He liked this second disciple from the bottom of his heart. Today is the day when my mother retires, don't you know? Xiaoli said obediently, the new governor is coming, and a banquet has been prepared in the Zhuangyuan building. My mother asked you to take me with you at noon. Su Xian certainly received Lin Suying's message. But it's only morning now. Did this little guy skip school and go home? Seeing Su Xian looking at her, Xiaoli immediately explained, Teacher, it's not that I came back so early, but that I have finished all the junior high school courses. My realm has reached the admission standard of Dingai Academy, and it's boring to stay there. Her sisters have not yet embarked on the path of cultivation. Xiaoli feels that she has fewer and fewer common topics with her sisters. When the sisters get along with her, they feel different from before. Su Xian can understand. Xiaoli has lived under the protection of Lin Suying since she was a child. She has never been exposed to the dangers of the world, and she doesn't understand the class gap between people. She can treat her classmates seriously and equally. But in the hearts of her classmates, Xiaoli has long been an unattainable child of heaven, the second generation of officials, the second generation of rich people, and the second generation of martial arts. Xiaoli's extraordinary talent destined her to walk alone on the road in the future. She will be invincible among her peers. She will always have to catch up with the strong people of the older generation. Peers are far behind. Just like now, she is already on par with the freshmen of Dingai Academy, while some of her classmates may still be addicted to playing house games. The gap between Xiaoli and them is destined to get bigger and bigger. People can't always be carefree. Teacher, what are you thinking about? Xiaoli interrupted Su Xian's thoughts, and she said angrily, I am so angry today, let me tell you. Who bullied you? Su Xian asked. No one is bullying me. Xiaoli shook his head. Today the school issued a notice that all primary and secondary school students in the country will practice the 8th set of basic physical skills. The 8th set of basic physical skills is very tiring to practice, and I don't know what evil ghost invented it. My sisters cursed the inventor for a day today. Su Xian. Did you curse? Xiaoli put his hands on his waist and chest, and said righteously, of course, although I have no problem practicing, I also helped the sisters curse for a day. Su Xian didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What did you curse him for? Xiaoli said, Humph, I curse him to have a daughter in the future, and his daughter will practice this every day, so that his daughter can also experience the hard work of us primary and secondary school students. Su Xian. What a vicious curse. The master and apprentice chatted, and time soon came to noon. Su Xian took Xiaoli to the Zhuangyuan building in Dingai King City. As the most famous restaurant in the whole Dragon Country, the meals in Zhuangyuan building are all spiritual food, and many dishes have a good tonic effect on professionals. It is possible to spend hundreds of millions of blue star coins for a table here. As soon as I walked to the door of Zhuangyuan building, the waiter came to greet me. Hello, Mr. Su. King Shui Yu asked me to wait for you here, please follow me. Excuse me. Su Xian nodded and followed the waiter to the 9th floor of the Zhuangyuan building. There was only one room on the entire 9th floor. Su Xian led Xiaoli down the ladder, pushed open the door and walked into the room, and what came into view were familiar faces. Not only Lin Suying, but also the senior managers of Dingai Wangcheng such as Chang Enho and Yang Yuanho were present, as well as representatives of major forces such as Zishi Ho. There were 12 people in total. Sitting in the center was a young man with a handsome face. He seemed gentle and elegant, but his eyes were a bit sharp. When his eyes met Su Xian, this sharpness became more obvious. Mr. Su, I have heard of your name for a long time. The young man took the initiative to stand up and introduced himself. I am Miao Xian, King of Zhejiang. Because King Shuiyu was summoned to the battlefield between the two worlds, the official specially sent me to take over the post of governor of Dingai Wangcheng. The two shook hands. Su Xian smiled slightly and said, "The name of the king of Zhejiang is well known. Su Ying told me about it last night." The face of Miao Xian, the king of Zhejiang, changed. Everyone noticed that the atmosphere was a little strange, and Marquis Chang'an and Marquis Yongyuan immediately came out to smooth things over. "It's getting late. Please take a seat, King of Zhejiang and Mr. Su," Marquis Chang'an said with a smile. The king of Zhejiang returned to the main seat and smiled at Su Xian. On his left sat Lin Suying, and on his right sat an old man with a haggard face, who looked quite similar to the king of Zhejiang. There was only one seat left next to Lin Suying, and the children's bowls and chopsticks were placed, which were obviously reserved for Xiaoli. The last seat was the last seat, the serving position of the round table. Faced with this scene, Su Xian looked normal and just patted Xiaoli on the shoulder. "Be good, go sit next to your mother. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village." Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 127. Xiao Li walked to the position next to Lin Suying. Under everyone's surprised gazes, Xiao Li changed the positions of his bowls and chopsticks with Lin Suying's. "Mom, sit here." Under her daughter's strong request, Lin Suying had to reluctantly change positions. After Lin Suying sat down, Xiaoli came to Chang Anho, Yanjia Yuanho and Zishi Hao again. "Uncle, Aunt, can you move a seat back? The teacher and mother usually sit together. Xiaoli is afraid that they won't be used to it." In Xiao Li's pleading eyes, Chang Anho and others had no choice but to give up their seats. "Thank you, Uncle and Aunt." Xiao Li bowed to several people politely and thanked them. Everyone knew the purpose of King Zhejiang, but due to their duties, Marquis Chang'an and others had no choice but to obey him. Of course, they preferred King Shuiyu in their hearts. Just taking advantage of Xiao Li's innocence, he gave up his position. When the seat was free, Xiao Li pulled Su Xian to the seat next to Lin Suying. "Teacher, you can sit here, just like at home." Zhejiang King Miao Xian laughed a few times and praised, "She is indeed the daughter of King Shuiyu. She has been smart since she was a child. She has already entered the Golden Realm at the age of 10. Her future achievements will definitely be no less than that of King Shuiyu." "He, thank you uncle for the compliment." Xiao Li showed his big white teeth and said, "In addition to my mother's good teaching, my teacher also deserves a lot of credit. If uncle wants to praise me next time, he should add, as expected of Mr. Su's disciple." King Zhejiang's expression froze instantly. Others also suffer from facial tics. The only one who dares to criticize the new governor, King Zhejiang, is Lord Shuiyu King's daughter. Miao Xian smiled and said, "It seems that Mr. Su is very popular with Xiao Li. No wonder Mr. Su can become the first outsider to live in Prince Shuiyu's mansion." Xiao Li said seriously, "Excuse me, the teacher is not an outsider. It's not just me. My mother also likes the teacher very much." As she spoke, she smiled at Lin Suying. "Mom, am I right?" "Yeah." Lin Suying nodded lightly. "The food is served." At this moment, the old man sitting next to King Zhejiang spoke. The waiter brought all the dishes to the table. The king of Zhejiang raised his wine glass and said, "Everyone, I'm here for the first time, so please take care of me. There is Senior King Dingai sitting in front of the royal city, and King Shuiyu behind him. Miao Xian is frightened and must do his best. I hope that in the future, we can work together to protect Dingai King City and live up to the prestige established by Senior Dingai King over the past 300 years. With that said, the king of Zhejiang picked up the wine glass and drank it all in one gulp. "Sit down." The king of Zhejiang first served food to the old man beside him. The other feudal lords were also very respectful to the old man. Su Xian secretly thought, if his guess is correct, this old man should be the father of Zhejiang King, Wang Hao. He is also a legendary feudal lord. Even more famous than the king of Zhejiang. Because he is one of the few strong men in Blue Star who can kill the king with the title of prince. But after that battle, Bawang Hao disappeared and never appeared in the public eye again. Rumor has it that he was seriously injured and unable to recover. In his later years, he was plagued by illness and fell into an unknown state. He was already on the verge of death. Looking at it like this, the breath of life is really low. Hey, thank you for being such a good boy. You also know how to pick up food for daddy. Suddenly, Bawang Hao spoke. Everyone almost spit out the spiritual food in their mouths. They all thought that Bawang Hao was a very serious person, but in the end, the king of Zhejiang looked a little embarrassed and apologized. I've made you laugh. My father's thinking has been confused since he came back from the battlefield of the two realms. Sometimes it's normal, sometimes it's like a child, and its behavior is weird. Everyone comforted him a few times and expressed their admiration for Bawang Hao. No one laughed. No matter what Bawang Hao is doing now, he is still an admirable guardian. Xiao Li also picked up vegetables for Su Xian and Lin Suying. Bawang Hao's eyes fell on Xiao Li, and then he looked at Zhejiang King. What a big boy, hurry up and pick up some food for me, don't lose to her. Lin Suying frowned slightly and asked, King of Zhejiang, has anyone checked the situation of Senior Bawang Hao? The King of Zhejiang nodded. I have asked several princes and even powerful kings who are good at treatment to look at it, but they can't find the root cause of the disease. Moreover, when I see a doctor, my father will go crazy, and sometimes even I can't stop him. Well. Lin Suying sighed. Senior Bawang Hao has a great reputation throughout his life. It was a sure thing that he would be crowned king, but he didn't expect that it would turn out like this in the end. The king of Zhejiang shook his head helplessly. Everyone, please eat. Don't worry about my father. In a delicate atmosphere, the inauguration banquet of King Zhejiang ended. Before leaving, the king of Zhejiang looked at Lin Suying and asked with concern, when will you go to the battlefield of the two realms? Tonight, Lin Suying replied calmly. Do you want to explain to the people in the royal city? King Zhejiang asked. No need, Lin Suying shook her head. I don't like the excitement. When the time comes, I will leave quietly without disturbing anyone. After saying that, she grabbed Xiao Li. Xiao Li quickly grabbed Su Xian with quick eyesight and hands. The three of them walked outside. The king of Zhejiang looked at the three people leaving with a trace of unwillingness in his eyes. He really couldn't understand why Lin Suying had so many admirers and had so many titles, but Su Suanja, who had never been known before, got the first one. As the saying goes, the first to get the moon is the one near the water. I'm afraid that Shui's Hongioer will be picked by this boy. Could it be that they used the wrong methods before, and the only way to get close to Shui Yuwang is to first increase the favorability with Shui Yuwang's daughter Li Xiaoli? He sighed and dispersed the emotions in his mind. He didn't have too much resentment. If he really couldn't get her, he wouldn't force it. As a generation of king, there were so many women chasing him, but he just wanted better. Compared with women, he cared more about the road to becoming a god. He told himself that it would be good to have one more Su Xian, so that he could give up the idea as soon as possible, so that he could focus on the semi-god realm. Late at night. Shui Yuwang Mansion. Lin Suying walked out of the room. In front, Su Xian stood under the moonlight. Is Xiaoli asleep? Lin Suying chuckled and said, she's pretending to be asleep, but she's actually peeking. Su Xian carefully sensed Xiaoli, who was peeking at the window. This girl is so clever. Xiaoli is a good and obedient child. Lin Suying said, if it were any other child, they would have cried and screamed if they knew their mother was leaving. Su Xian nodded and looked at her. When will you come back? For the first time, a confused look appeared in Lin Suying's eyes. I don't know when I can come back this time. It may take a long time, or it may be very soon. In short, Xiaoli is in your care. Don't worry. Su Xian walked over to Lin Suiying, looked down at her, opened his arms, and held her in his arms. Feeling the hot breath of Su Xian, Lin Suiying lowered her head slightly and let Su Xian hold her. It was not until the little head peeking from afar was about to faint from excitement that Lin Suiying reached out her hand and symbolically pushed Su Xian away. Thousands of words stopped at her lips. Her heart was burning. But she could not help herself. Wait for me to come back. Lin Suiying's figure disappeared in the moonlight. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 128. The new governor of Dingai City, King Zhejiang, took office. The second round of the Global Higher Education Exchange competition has ended. The third round of competition will no longer be divided into divisions, and will be held in Longdu until the finals. The seeded players who advance from the three major competition areas of Dingai, Baifeng, and Xianhuang need to rush to Longdu to participate in the final competition. Early on February 10. Dingai Academy's special spaceship is ready to set off. Su Xian also got on the boat. With Su Xian's current status in Dingai King City, he was naturally assigned to a high-end guest room. He originally wanted to take Xiaoli with him, but after thinking about it, it was safest for Xiaoli to stay in Dingai King City and Shuiya King's mansion. After all, they were protected by the natural magic circle of the world tree. The little carp swallowed the fruit of the world again. If she is in any danger, World Tree can rescue her immediately. If you follow Su Xian and are targeted by the rebels, it will be more dangerous. Nothing will happen this time, right? Sitting on the deck, Zhang Mu sighed. He wanted to practice, but Yin Xiaoshuang forced him to take him out to play. Sun Xiaokong glanced at him and said, "Senior brother Mu, shut up. Stop talking. Of course nothing will happen this time. After all, there are several kings at home and abroad who are stationed in the spaceship. Even if the king of the rebel army comes in person, he would not dare to attack the spaceship. Su Xian, come to my room and let's talk." Suddenly, a voice sounded in Su Xian's ears. Su Xian stood up, walked towards the cabin, came to a guest room, and knocked on the door. "Please come in." A voice came from inside the house. Su Xian opened the door and walked in. There were two people sitting in the room, both old men. The former was wearing a floral shirt, beach shorts, and flip-flops, with his feet on a stool in an awkward manner. It was none other than King Baisha of Wuhan. Su Xian had also seen the latter, and he was the Bawanghao, the father of the king of Zhejiang. "Why are the Bawanghao here?" Su Xian asked in surprise. "The king of Zhejiang couldn't get away, so I took him to Longdu for treatment. In the entire Longdu, except for me, there are not many people who can suppress this old guy." King Wuan explained briefly and then changed the subject. "I called you here not to ask you to come and see Bawangho, but to ask you about what happened the past few days." Su Xian wondered, "What's the matter?" King Wuan said, "During the self-destruction attack in Sakura Kingdom that day, I felt the aura of the god of Death Realm. Even though it was only for a few seconds, my feeling was unmistakable." "Was it your kid who made the noise?" Su Xian nodded, "Yes, but that is not the realm of the god of killing." King Wuan smiled and said, "Of course I know that it is not the realm of the god of death. If you understand the realm of the god of death like this, then I might as well find a piece of tofu and kill it. Don't say anything so cruel." Su Xian smiled, "Didn't you also think that I couldn't break through the star realm? What happened?" King Wuan twitched the corner of his mouth. "What I just said doesn't count, I take it back." Looking at Su Xian, King Wuan felt more and more evil. Maybe one day this kid would really realize it. "Show me what you did that day." "Are you sure you want to see it?" Su Xian smiled and said, "I'm afraid you will be shocked." "I'm not that fragile yet, come on," King Wuan said. Su Xian didn't refuse either. "It's not a rare thing anyway," so it doesn't hurt to show it to King Wuan to save face. Buzz. Su Xian thought. The realm of the pseudo-killer god instantly unfolded. A strong murderous aura raged in the room. King Wuan's expression changed. Such a strong field. How could? The domain that Su Xian expanded turned out to be much more powerful than when he first understood the god of death domain. Wrong. He sensed it carefully and soon noticed something strange. Su Xian's domain seems to be full of murderous intent, but it is empty. The murderous intent does not have the ability to truly fight the enemy. It only scares people and cannot kill people. But it's scary enough. King Wuan passed down countless insights and wanted to find someone who could suit his inheritance. As a result, it is rare to even comprehend its shape, let alone understand its meaning. Su Xian was able to learn the form even more than his creator once he learned it for the first time. He could only marvel at this talent. Su Xian, I have something to discuss with you. King Wuan looked at him with stern eyes. You said, Su Xian responded. How about you become my disciple? I can pass on the god of killing domain and even the god of killing realm to you without reservation. How about that? Think about it. King Wuan made no secret of his purpose. Forget it. Su Xian shook his head. The last one who wanted to accept him as his disciple already called him master. King Wuan was very strong and worthy of respect, but he was not qualified to be his teacher. Su Xian. Why? King Wuan said, I admit that your talent is rare in the world, but you still have a long way to go before you can catch up with me. In the meantime, I can teach you a lot. There are so many talented people in the world who want to be my disciple, but I can't stand any of them. Today I took the initiative to ask you to join me, but you are not willing? Are my god of killing domain and god of killing realm so unbearable in your eyes? Su Xian smiled bitterly. This is not a matter of whether you are strong or not, but that we are not suitable. He has been very tactful. After all, the person standing in front of him was King Wuan. He can't say you don't deserve it, right? Alas, King Wuan sighed repeatedly. I didn't expect that I would be despised one day. I fell into the hands of your kid. The two were talking. King Wuan's face suddenly changed, and an illusory world took shape around him. The power of the world's laws was madly suppressing something behind him. Su Xian's eyes also looked behind King Wuan. The Bawang Hao, who was originally curled up quietly in the corner, fell into a state of madness at some point. He was sick and his life was weak, but at this moment he was like a violent god of war, and the aura bursting out of his body was much stronger than before. Even King Wuan had to spend a lot of effort to suppress him. If King Wuan hadn't opened the killing god realm and blocked this world, the rage of the Bawang Hao might have affected the entire spaceship. Old Miao, stop tossing! King Wuan shouted angrily, and the killing god realm continued to solidify. The power of the world's laws was like a rolling river, and it forcibly suppressed the violent Bawang Hao. The latter fell to the ground with a bang and fainted. Su Xian walked forward and asked with lingering fear, what's going on? King Wuan's face was also very solemn. His old illness has come back. It's okay to tell you. You should know the deeds of Bawang Hao. He was once known as the best among the Marquises. After the battle of reverse killing and becoming a king, Bawang Hao got a strange disease. In short, he was schizophrenic and had a dual personality. What you saw just now was his second personality, violent, powerful, murderous, and full of negative aura. And his main personality that he usually shows is no different from a child, but he has preserved some of his original memories, so it looks very strange. Su Xian was slightly surprised. He didn't expect that there was such a story about Bawang Hao. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. 10,000 times return. I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 129. Every time the second personality appears, the life breath of Bawangho will be consumed. At this point, Bawangho is on the verge of death, and I'm afraid he won't be able to hold on for much longer. King Wuan sighed. Even if King Zhejiang spends all his family wealth and seeks medical treatment everywhere to cure Bawangho, he can only delay time. If this continues, Bawangho will surely die. Su Xian said, "What about the demigod of Longguo? With King Zhejiang's status, it should be okay to ask the demigod to cure his father." "You don't know what demigod means. What they bear is heavier than all of us." King Wuan seemed reluctant to say more. Seeing this, Su Xian didn't ask much. Demigods have always been mysterious. Su Xian has never seen a demigod so far. He doesn't even know where they are. Alas, Bawangho. In this case, Su Xian didn't know what to say. Bawangho might not be able to escape. King Wuan shook his head. "There's nothing we can do about it. Everyone has their own destiny. Maybe this is the fate of Bawangho. Fate is unpredictable. When he was young, Bawangho was full of vigor and vitality. The battle against the king pushed him to the top. It was also this battle that made him fall from the peak to the bottom. How sad his life was afterwards." The spaceship traveled all the way. Arrived in Longdu in the afternoon. No matter when you see the city, it is a magnificent epic that makes people amazed. Those foreign players and teachers who came for the first time were even more excited. The reception group of Longdu had been waiting for a long time. They prepared accommodation and food for the foreign participating teams. Regardless of whether there were grievances between countries, Longguo was very generous in this regard and would not be petty. "Teacher, senior brother Mu, fourth junior brother. Here, here." As soon as he got off the spaceship, Su Xian saw Xianyu and Qing Qing. Next to Xianyu and Qing Qing, there stood a tall man in training clothes. It was the father of the third brother, Xianyu and Dali. "Brother Su." Xianyu and Dali came up to him enthusiastically and gave Su Xian a big bear hug. "Are you in the Sun Realm?" The moment he hugged Su Xian, he felt the breath of Su Xian. Are you a pervert?" "Half a year. From the Starry Realm to the Sun Realm, a full professional?" Xianyu and Dali had been looking forward to the miracle of half a year, and it was right in front of him, but he felt like he was dreaming. Xianyu and Qing Qing came over and pouted, "Dad, can you stop making a fuss? This is my teacher. It's not strange to happen to him." Su Xian smiled and greeted, "Brother Xianyuan, long time no see." Xianyuan Dali came back to his senses and laughed, "Ha ha ha, no more words. Tonight, let's go to the Red Moon Tavern. I'll treat you. Don't leave until you're drunk." "Dad, when did you become so rich?" the third brother asked suspiciously. "Then I have to thank Brother Su." Xianyu and Dali climbed onto Su Xian's shoulders. "Hasn't the 8th set of National Basic Physical Training been promoted nationwide recently? The official gave me a considerable bonus." As he spoke, Xianyu and Dali took out a bank card from his pocket and handed it to Su Xian. "The total bonus is 180 million blue star coins, Brother Su, this is your 90 million. I can't take it." Su Xian was not being polite, he was really embarrassed to ask for it. They had made a deal before. Xianyu and Dali had helped him find someone to upgrade the 1000 chance umbrella, so it was reasonable for him to take all the bonus. The most important thing is that in the process of getting the bonus, Xianyu and Dali has definitely worked a lot in the past 6 months. I feel ashamed to give him half of it. Take it. Suyu and Dali forced it into Su Xian's pocket. "Why are you being polite to me? I know how much you have taken care of Qing Qing, and you have even given her the 10,000 poison body. As a father, I have to show some appreciation, right?" Su Xian had no choice but to accept it and handed it back to Xianyu and Qing Qing. "Come, Ching Ching, you often study alchemy, which requires a lot of funds. Here it is for you. You also know that the master is not short of money. Thank you, teacher. Xianyu and Ching Ching happily took it, not polite at all. As Su Xian's disciple, she certainly knew that the teacher did not need these. The teacher gave her so many things, the value of which could not be measured by money at all. A mere 90 million was probably the same as a cup of loess in the eyes of the teacher. Ding, you gave your disciple Xianyu and Ching Ching 90 million blue star coins. Congratulations on triggering the tenfold critical return, you have obtained 900 million blue star coins. The system prompt sounded. Su Xian was helpless. A mere 900 million blue star coins, isn't it a waste of luck? Blue star coins are not omnipotent, many precious things are priceless and can only be exchanged. The strong usually collect money just for the development of family power. This. Xianyu and Dali was embarrassed. He distributed the blue star coins to Su Xian, and Su Xian returned them to Xianyu and Ching Ching. Isn't this still back to the Xianyu and family? How could there be such a generous and kind person like Brother Su in the world? Brother Su. Xianyu and Dali said solemnly, I really didn't misjudge you. From today on, if you need anything, tell me, brother. As long as I can do it, I will never be vague. Okay, Su Xian smiled and nodded. Although he had not been with Xianyu and Dali for a long time, Su Xian could see that he was a man who put righteousness first. Loyal to the country and loyal to friends. Speaking of which, I really have something I want to ask you for help. Su Xian took out the 1000 chance umbrella. If possible, I hope to upgrade the 1000 chance umbrella again. Of course, I will bear all the upgrade costs personally. You want to upgrade the quality of the 1000 chance umbrella to the legendary level. Xianyuan was greatly surprised. This is too difficult. It's not that I won't help you, but the materials required for the upgrade are too many and it's difficult to collect them in a short time. Most of the kings can only be equipped with legendary weapons, and few people have them. It can be seen how difficult it is to create legendary weapons. Su Xian smiled, if possible, please introduce me to the master craftsman, I will take care of the rest. Xianyuan nodded vigorously, that's not a problem, leave it to me, let's drink first, and talk about the 1000 chance umbrella tomorrow. You go, I have something else to do. Xianyuan Ching Ching frowned, today, a very important patient came to the medical station, and Aunt Jiu asked me to be her assistant. A very important patient. Su Xian thought of Bawang Ho and asked casually, did the patient come on the same spaceship as us? It should be. Xianyuan Ching Ching pondered for a few times, I heard from Aunt Jiu that the patient was personally escorted by King Wuan, so I think his identity is not simple. After saying this, Su Xian finally confirmed that the patient was Bawang Ho. 10,000 times return, I am a mentor in the Novice Village. Author, Mingtong Shui. Chapter 130. Medical College affiliated to Longdu University, 3rd floor. The office of Pei Xiu, Dean of the Medical School. Xianyuan Ching Ching pushed the door open and entered. Ching Ching, you're here, sit down first. Aunt Jiu. Xianyuan Ching Ching is very happy whenever she sees Aunt Jiu. In her eyes, Aunt Jiu can be called a benchmark figure in the alchemist world. Don't look at me like that. Pei Xiu couldn't help feeling a little panicked as Xianyuan Ching Ching stared at her. She thought she was already enthusiastic enough about alchemy, but it wasn't until she met Xianyuan Ching Ching that she realized that every mountain is higher than the next. This girl looks like an experimental subject to everyone. Hey, don't I like you? Xianyuan Ching Ching hugged Pei Xiu's arm and rubbed her face against the other's pretty face. I couldn't help but sigh in my heart. As expected of Aunt Jiu, she is more than 200 years old, but she has hands like catkins, skin like gel, bright eyes and white teeth, and a childish face, like a girl of 14 or 15 years old. They went out to do errands together, and others thought Aunt Chiu was her sister. Stop making trouble. Pei Xiu reluctantly pushed Xianyu and Qing Qing away, who was rubbing against her. King Wuan will be here soon, please be more solemn. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a knock on the door outside. Please come in. The door was pushed open. King Wuan came in with Bawang Hao. I have met King Wuan. Xianyu and Qing Qing cupped her fists and bowed in salute. Pei Xiu was sitting at his desk and said with a smile, long time no see, brother Xiaobai. Several black lines were drawn on King Wuan's forehead. Facing this woman, even if he is a murderer, he can do nothing, because when he was young, he actually followed Pei Xiu and called sister Xiaoxiu. More than 200 years have passed. Pei Xiu is still the same Pei Xiu. He turned into an old man. Long time no see, Bawang Hao will be left to you, King Wuan said. He had another attack on the way here. I'm afraid he won't last long. Well. Looking at the haggard and lifeless look of Bawang Hao, Pei Xiu sighed, I'll try my best. His disease involves multiple layers of symptoms and is too complicated, and even I have very little control over it. Has the fountain of life been brought? Bring it here. King Wuan handed a small bottle of spring water of life into Pei Xiu's hand. That boy Miao Xian got it with great difficulty. Lao Miao's life depends on it, please take it easy. Pei Xiu raised his eyebrows, are you teaching me how to do things? King Wuan. Damn it! Aren't you just a young and ignorant person who has been following you for several years and called me sister? How could I, a great murderer, be unable to stand up in front of you? Never mind. I tolerate it. He pursed his lips, but after all, there was no argument and he walked away silently. You get out, I'm going to start. With that said, Pei Xiu took out a mallet from the space ring and hit Bawang Hao on the head, knocking him unconscious. King Wuan's mouth twitched. This was the first time he had seen such an anesthetic. Pei Xiu had no expression on his face, put on medical clothes, waved his hand, and drove King Wuan out. The next moment, the whole room was plunged into darkness. Pei Xiu opened her arms and chanted a spell quickly, and a huge female figure appeared behind her. The shadow's eyes were slightly closed, exuding a holy aura. At her fingertips, threads grew out. These silk threads stretched into Bawang Hao's body and lifted his body up, just like a puppeteer operating a puppet. Through the silk thread, Pei Xiu clearly felt the injuries in Bawang Hao's body. Her expression became more and more solemn. A silk thread stretched out, rolled up the spring water of life, and fed it into Bawang Hao's mouth. The strong breath of life continued to heal Bawang Hao's injuries. At this moment, a violent intention appeared in Bawang Hao's body. The violent aura actually swallowed up all the life spring water, so that the Bawang Hao's injuries did not recover much, and the life spring water was used up. Second personality. Pei Xiu murmured, let me meet you. The threads in Bawang Hao's body gradually became transparent. In Pei Xiu's eyes, another different world appeared, a world exclusive to the soul. He saw the soul of Bawang Hao. The soul of a normal person is light blue and almost colorless, but the soul of Bawang Hao is like a blooming flame, extremely powerful, and does not look like a dying person at all. This means that the second personality is about to take control of Bawang Hao's body. Go. Pei Xiaoqiao waved his hand, and thousands of tiny silk threads were tied towards Bawang Hao's soul body. The soul body of Bawang Hao did not show any weakness, and his whole body was burning with red soul fire, burning the threads inch by inch. Ching Ching, help me, Pei Xiu shouted, smash the medicine bottle I gave you and force the medicine into Bawang Hao's body. Xianyu and Ching Ching couldn't see the fight between Xiaoyi and Bawang Hao, but she knew that Xiaoyi had the special ability to visit spiritual bodies. Aunt Chiu asked her to be her deputy because she needed her 10,000 poison body. The medicine in the medicine bottle contains all kinds of strange poisons, which even Aunt Chiu herself has difficulty controlling. Only she who has the body of 10,000 poisons can control them easily. Bang! Xianyu and Ching Ching broke the medicine bottle, causing the medicine liquid to rush into Bawang Hao's body. However, the liquid was bounced back just as it approached Bawang Hao's body. Pei Xiu said seriously, "There is a mysterious substance in Bawang Hao's body, and it is this substance that allows his broken body to erupt with such power. If you want to cure his disease, you must suppress this mysterious substance. The medicinal solution I am currently researching is the only one that can suppress it. Ching Ching, I can only wrap around his soul body despite all my efforts, the rest is up to you." Xianyu and Ching Ching was under great pressure. She took out a bottle of medicine and drank it, her aura surged, her realm entered the Tianhe River, and she forced the medicine into Bawang Hao's body again. There is a huge difference between the realms of the two. But now Bawang Hao is a body with a separated soul after all, and cannot withstand Xianyu and King King's full attack. The medicinal liquid is injected into the body. In an instant, the aura of Bawang Hao was continuously reduced. The red soul flames on the soul body gradually faded away, returning to its normal light blue and almost colorless state. The shadow behind Pei Xiu disappeared. There was a trace of frown on her face, and her face was aging rapidly. It was obvious that she had put a lot of effort into it. She immediately took out a bottle of potion and drank it. The girlish appearance was restored. "Did you succeed, Aunt Chiu?" Xianyu and Ching Ching was also very tired. Just sending the medicine into Bawang Hao's body almost caused her to collapse. One can imagine how much pressure Pei Xiu endured. Pei Xiu put his hand on Bawang Hao's chest and felt it carefully. The medicine has worked, but it still cannot cure Bawang Hao's strange disease. I can feel that the suppressed mysterious substance is gradually reviving. This. Xianyu and Ching Ching sighed. "Oh, I tried my best. Pei Xiudao, unless we can find another substance that is more powerful than the mysterious substance and completely suppress it, it will be possible to cure Bawang Hao." "Is there such a thing?" Xianyu and Ching Ching asked. "Of course," Pei Xiu nodded. "For example, if you use a lot of your hard work to refine it into essence, you can completely suppress the mysterious substance. The same is true for other special physiques. However, the future achievements of people with this kind of constitution may not be worse than those of Bawang Hao. It is not worth ruining their future for this. I have a solution." Before Pei Xiu finished speaking, Xianyu and Ching Ching suddenly exclaimed, "I know a person, maybe he can easily cure Bawang Hao's strange disease." Warm reminder, if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will handle it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.